You need to offer to the ground to be able to receive and expand. You need to ground yourself to liberate, to free the upper part of the body. And in the upper part of the body, you got a brain. So creating space, creating lightness, and then clarity comes along. And then you create what you need to create for your life.
Welcome to the Morning Ritual Podcast. Here we uncover how small daily practices hold the key to a more aligned life. Rituals help us turn the mundane into the meaningful. They help us remember our values and visions and realign us with who we really are. This is not about overnight transformation. It's about intentional living, having presence over perfection. Each week, we hear from teachers, artists, healers, and creators about the rituals that keep them grounded, clear, and aligned. Their stories remind us that living intentionally isn't just possible, it's transformative. So take a breath and settle in. Today, we have Laurent Roure on the podcast. Laurent, how do you say your last name?
You've done really well.
Did I do okay?
Yes, I think you thought about it very much. Okay, there's so many R's in my name, so it's very difficult. Laurent Roure. So the Celtic people will say it because they used to, or the rolling on the R. So the R, Roure. Roure, it's a word from the south of France, so in Provence. And it means oak tree. So it's a very old name from the Protestant Huguenot, actually. So yeah, it's very old. So I know it's difficult to say Roure, but it's a common name you find in Nîmes, Montpellier, in the south of France. This sort of the region.
Oh, I love that. I love that it's the oak tree. I mean, we're going to get into grounding in a little bit, but I just always imagine
we're starting the
tree.
theme here already.
Living, breathing oak tree. I love it. So Laurent has spent his life creating environments and tools to support people on their journey to greater health and well-being. He integrates yoga, breathwork, somatic practices, restorative techniques, and meditation to support his clients. So it is such a treat to have you here.
Thank you very much for inviting me. This is lovely.
Oh, of course. And I want to start with a little story time, a little personal story. So 4 years ago, nearly to the day. So today is October 8th. I think it was October 10th, 2021. Wow. I moved from New York to London with just one suitcase and a bulldog, an English bulldog, so very appropriate to move to England with. And I was a little heartbroken, gone through a big breakup, lost all my work as a dancer. So I was very much in transition and moved to London not really knowing anybody, definitely didn't have a support system yet. And the closest yoga studio to my flat, right down the road, Yoga Haven, I went there on my first week that I moved to London.
Wow. Okay.
And the first class I went to, just because I was in the mood, had no idea who you were, was your class.
Thank you very much.
And I remember going into that class and finally feeling the ground again beneath my feet and feeling like, I will be okay. I can do this.
Good.
Yeah. And then I went pretty regularly, Wednesday mornings. Yeah. I was there.
I remember you coming to the class, and I remember how receptive you were to the class. Because it's not always easy. This kind of work is not automatic. It's something that what you get on the spot or it develops in time.
Yeah.
Even a person who doesn't seem that is getting it straight away, there's always a seed which has been planted. And they return and they say, I remember what you've done. I said, now I need to come back. And they realize that this practice is useful, perhaps not on the spot, but maybe in 6 months' time.
Yeah, well, I felt like you were just speaking my language and my body was so grateful for it. And as the weeks went on, what I did notice I grew into, or it started to shift, was during the practice, I remember like my best ideas would come up, my most creative thoughts, my most sort of the clarity on what I'll do next at a time that was so muddy and blurry. And I would leave your class, I'd go to the cafe, I'd write down. And then a couple years later, here I have a studio that you get to teach in and
which I love.
And share your work in.
Yeah.
And I do have to say, I've never actually told it to you as fully as this, but your work in your class really
Thank you very much. But you said something very important here. You spoke about muddiness, and we speak about grounding. We speak about being creative. All this is part of us as being human. If you don't plant your roots, if you don't ground, it's very difficult to process the creativity. I was speaking about you before the session about speaking to lecturers, speakers, before they start expressing their ideas, talking to the group of 1,000 people, 100 people, even 10 people, or even one person. The first thing they need to do is ground yourself. So that's what you did. You grounded yourself with me and perhaps with some other people as well. And then when the earth and the ground hold you down, it gives you a place where you can expand and create and think. Your brain is clearer. It's a wonderful feeling. And this is a feeling, it's a concept that teaches Vanda Scaravelli.
Yeah. Yeah, you introduced me to Scaravelli's work, and Awakening the Spine, that book.
That's what she teaches. You need to offer to the ground to be able to receive and expand.
Yeah.
You need to ground yourself to liberate, to free the upper part of the body. And in the upper part of the body, you got a brain. So creating space, creating lightness, and then clarity comes along, and then you create what you need to create for your life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a direction I was thinking we could go in, but later in the conversation, although it's coming up now, so I want to just own that and say another little story, not as long, tiny story.
We like stories.
Yeah, tiny story. My gorgeous husband is kind of helping me out with my business these days, and I always use the word grounding. Oh, it was so nice how grounding she was, or I really want people to feel grounded as they see this or experience this. And he just looked at me the other day and was like, what does grounding mean? You use this word all the time, but like what does that even mean? And I described it in my own way, and it kind of landed, but not fully. So I was like, I'm going to tell Laurent to explain it to us in a really down-to-earth, no pun intended way.
Yeah. Us as human beings, we should all be, is that default state is to be grounded. Why? Because on planet Earth, we're experiencing gravity. We don't have a choice. Right? We fall like the apple. Huh? The issue is, in our society, is that we have some elements which take us away from that feeling of being grounded in through gravity. Some people, I was speaking about with that again, some people will find groundedness as part of their life. So someone like a countryman, someone which works the earth, someone which is doing work in mountains, in the countryside, they feel this is a natural state for them. When someone which is more academic, someone more in their head, someone more performance, city, and they're more in their head, grounding is not so much happening. So it's a possibility that I know your husband and I know he's a business person, and maybe grounding for him is not a natural thing. So when we approach grounding to people who are less apt to communicate with the earth, we say to them the word grounding's got a very important name, ground, inside. So we shouldn't look for a magical thing into it. It's basically the ability of returning to the earth. When you meet the earth again, when you feel the earth again with your feet, with your hands, with your body, there's something happening on your body which is where the nervous system realizes the stability, realize the safety created by the ground and the earth. That's what the earth says. But we have to invite people to look at this sense of strength, stability, so that they feel much happier. And we speak again about you when you needed the groundness. You came to the classes, you felt grounded, and then you felt a little bit more light and creative. This is exactly what we're doing. We teach people to be more in tune with the power and the energy of the earth, which is give you that sense of stability and safety. When you feel like this, you're able to express yourself better, to speak better, to work better, to be more clearer. So grounding, it's literally, as the word means, it's meeting the earth, for creating a place where we feel very much with the physical body and not in the head.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gorgeous feeling.
Yes.
And it's a nice feeling to be around.
And, of course, we speak about that in a moment, it's the beginning of everything else.
Yeah.
It's a beginning, because we speak a lot about relaxation. And before we do relaxation, we need to ground. So it's the start. You can't relax, you can't rest before you feel yourself meeting a place which is safe. Yeah. Boom, on the floor. And the way I am now, I'm speaking at the moment, and because I speak, of course this is working, but to be able for me to express myself, sometimes you could see I'm with my feet, I might move my feet like this, or I might move a little bit. It's not I'm fidgety, it's just I'm making sure that I'm keeping in tune with what the support is giving me for me to be able to express myself.
Yeah.
And that is something that I teach to people who speaks. So friends, lecturers, speakers, teachers, coming and said, oh, when I start speaking to a big group, I feel really nervous. So when you're here, you feel nervous. When you're here, you start the process of grounding yourself and creating a sense of stability. Your nervous system starts to slow down, your breath becomes slower, then your mind can start to be a little clearer, and then you could speak.
Yeah.
So it's an important part of being resilient and grounded, stable, to be able to express yourself.
Yeah, wonderful. And I just had a little image of, I was thinking, what a valuable skill to offer anybody, but I was thinking of yoga teachers, and I was just thinking, like 10 years ago when I was first teaching my group classes, I was so in my head. I memorized a sequence and it was in my brain, and I would do it at the front of the room, and for the ability of me to like be present to what's in the room and look at people was so hard.
Yeah.
So as soon as I became more grounded in my teaching and trusting the knowledge within, now I can walk around, I can look at the bodies that I'm working with and have my breath be free and easy and my voice be relaxed.
The young teacher will find that very difficult to do at the beginning, except if it's very natural to them.
Yeah.
In time, the older you get in your teaching, the easier it becomes.
Totally.
You could go to seats. My specialty is to walk around and feel my feet on the ground. Some of the people might be on their back teaching.
You find your way.
I think the nervosity at the beginning of a teaching experience is part of the grounding as well. You learn from that.
Yeah. And so that other thing you mentioned with when we're grounded, we can rest and we can relax.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to talk about the difference between relaxation and rest, and then maybe we can go into the process of how to actually relax.
Wow.
It's a lot. I know. We'll back it up.
No. I really want to speak about that because I think we're making mistakes. We confusing the both. I'm talking about rest and relaxation. So if you look at what the yoga practice could offer, or all sorts, restorative yoga, yin yoga, somatic yoga, all the more gentle practices where sometimes we're completely static. We are not offering relaxation to start with. In restorative yoga, for example, where we are completely still on the prop, we are offering rest. So rest means you stop activity. It doesn't mean you relax yet. You just arrive on a place. I'm resting on a chair, but I'm active. I'm speaking to you. So rest, it's the ability of stopping. And in rest, there's a possibility, in relaxation as well, but in restorative practices, there's a possibility of healing as well. So rest, it's more about, I'm going to slow down my breathing. Rest, I'm going to change the speed of my heartbeat. Rest, I'm going to let my muscle melt. So what is relaxation is the next process most of the time. And relaxation is about nervous system regulation. And relaxation is about also, there's different stages in relaxation as well. If you look at Yoga Nidra is split in different stages because your brain frequencies changes. You come from a place of rest at the beginning, and then you become detached from the physical body and the breathing. Then you arrive into a place which is where your brain is into theta, which is a place where it's nearly into the sleep. And this is where you start regulating your nervous system. So regulation of the nervous system means balancing the nervous system. It doesn't mean that we are completely into the rest or relaxing one. It's just we are balancing the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Okay? So this is, we need to be in the best is the parasympathetic, because this is the default state of us as animals, if you know what I mean. But when you do the relaxation, this is when you start regulating your nervous system. You go a little bit of sympathetic and a little bit of and a lot of parasympathetic.
And for our listeners, parasympathetic versus sympathetic.
Yeah.
Can you tell us?
So sympathetic, it's all right. Let's speak about parasympathetic. Parasympathetic is what we're supposed to be always in, ideally, so that we function very well. It's rest and digest in English. So basically, it's the time where you are functioning, your heart is slow, your breath is smooth and soft, your mind is not agitated, you're not hyperactive. Okay? And that's what we're supposed to be all the time to function well as a human being or an animal in general. Sympathetic is the little helper of the parasympathetic. It's the part of the nervous system which helps you, for example, running after a bus, or I am more into sympathetic right now to be able to speak to you because I need to try to find my words. It could be also when you are giving an interview or you're more agitated a little bit. It's sympathetic helps us to keep us safe. It's to run away from the danger. So sympathetic is always here in case you need it. Okay. Yeah. Now the problem with someone which is stressed and anxious, for example, has too much of sympathetic and not enough of parasympathetic, has too much hyperactivity, and they're always into that mode of being fighting against perhaps a danger, stress being a stressor, anxiety being fears or something might happen in the future. They always have, so they're always into that zone. And that is a danger for your function in general, because you are overusing energy in your body. You need more oxygen than usual to try to feed the sympathetic. So all the practice like resting and relaxation helps to rebalance this and bring you back into a place of calm, where your heart functions well, when your breath is slower.
Digestive system.
I was going to say, your digestion, your immune system, all your functions are working very well. So let's summarize. Rest is when you stop activity. I'm resting for a moment on the chair. I'm resting in a bus. But I'm not that relaxed in a bus, okay? Yeah. Relaxation is more about I'm making a very special act to lie down on the floor, to listen to a guided practice, so I drift into a place where my nervous system is going to recover, basically.
Great. So the stages of relaxation, you mentioned grounding is where we begin.
Well,
Is there something before the grounding?
No. Wow. There's arriving. Okay.
It's very nuanced.
Of course it is. It is difficult. So for people to grasp, but if you want to start a process of relaxation, what is the process, the stage of arriving? And it could be as practical as finding the best room in your room, in your apartment, arriving in a room. It's also the decision to do it. Because people want to relax, but they think it's just happening like this.
Yeah.
If you have the willingness of saying, okay, I'm going to spend an hour just doing nothing. No goals, no aim, let's see what happens. Well, the arrival is very important. It's like when you prepare your bed at night. And you're going to put the light in your room, you're going to put a little candle if you do this, or you're going to put maybe a music. I'm going to open my bed, just preparing. I'm going to have my
for
book.
A deep sleep. Yeah.
Arrival. That's arrival. The rest, the grounding is next. It's when you meet the place where you're going to be doing your relaxation. So if it is in bed, it's meeting your bed, putting a hot water bottle in your bed. It is, if you're in this yoga class, it's having your blanket underneath you, the blanket on top of you, the cushion. So the grounding comes from preparing the body. Grounding is body base first. And the relaxation in the old yoga tradition, in the tantric yoga tradition, the body is the first thing you prepare in relaxation. So often in the grounding, you have meeting the tension and releasing the tension. You have meeting the physical body on a mat, for example, meeting the point of contact. These techniques where you lift and you place, this is grounding. Okay, it's looking after the body. In mental health conditions such as trauma, the body is first as well. So grounding is an extremely important part for preparing someone to move into a healing journey, for example. So grounding is often very forgotten. It's rushed.
Yeah.
And then the next stage is, can I use my breath to release my tension? So it's from the body you move to energetic, energetic. So breath is the important part. Deep, long breath, diaphragmatic breathing, all these practices. So you're already ready. You're on your bed. So we speak about it later, but in insomnia, when you ground in your bed, do you do some breathing technique to start the process of sleeping, for example? So you have to move from one stage, which is arriving, grounding, dealing with the tension in the body, dealing with the energy in your body with long exhalation, moving to the parasympathetic part, the resting part of the nervous system. The process has started already for you to start going towards relaxation. And in relaxation, the body is completely, nearly not existent anymore. You melted in a flow. The tension disappeared. The physical presence of your body disappeared. And then your brain, your mind, that's the third part. So physical body to look after, energetic body to look after, meaning the breath. The mind follows. The mind doesn't have to do anything anymore. It's still active, but it's just follow the rest. The body is quiet. The breath is subtle. Then the mind could stop being too proactive. And this is when relaxation is. When these three elements are coherent, body calm, quiet, grounded, arrived, breath, which gave us a sense of let go, tension melting, nervous system slow down. Then the mind, it's kind of forgetting about all that, and it just a little bit like a dream is a little bit in the background. And we call it awareness. Awareness just float in the background. Now you are in deep relaxation. In Yoga Nidra, the word for that state is Nidra, which is the waking state of sleeping. And in science, it's the state of theta. which is the place where your brain is not deciding, doing. In yoga tradition, it's the place of dhyana. So after dharana concentration, I'm preparing everything. Dharana, it's the highest state of meditation, in meditation. So in different methods, you find the same spot.
Yeah.
Relaxation is when nothing happens. You just be, basically.
Yeah, and I've found with clients of mine who want to meditate, but they're in that sympathetic response a lot. I can't begin with meditation. I can't begin with the mind. I have to start with body, start with movement, I have to start with breath. And yes, and so I find for people who struggle to meditate with these apps and stuff, which are wonderful, but make sure there's that inherent, that safety in the body, that freedom with the breath, that you're able to rest and relax, because the looking inward at the mind is going to be hard.
Well,
what do you think about meditation in that?
Okay. So one of the problem we have with someone who comes with either stress and anxiety, burnout, fatigue, which is part of the burnout process, insomnia, people with the respiratory issues as well, they will want automatically something very quick, a quick fix.
Yeah.
And of course, they're going to come to you and say, I'm coming to meditation because I want to get rid of my stress and my anxiety. So us as facilitators, we need to say, well, this is all good, and we certainly will use it for later on. But as you said, we need to start first with the body and creating that safety space. Because if someone suffers from stress and anxiety, for example, going into meditation can be very stressful. So if they worked with the body first, they can always go back to the body and return to touching, rocking, body contact on the floor, and other stuff. So for them, they have to create that safety net from the beginning. If someone just only know meditation and finding really as a struggle and very stressful, they're never going to come back to you. They're going to be, oh. And it's the same with it's the same with the problem with the asthma. People want to say, I want to breathe better because I got asthma. I said, okay, but you need to do the physical practice first. You need to do a lot of different things before you start. We are a society, we want quick fix. Yeah. We want to cut the corners.
Yeah, and it's not just the yoga. Like one of my absolute best friends, she's gorgeous, Katrina. She's actually been on this podcast before. She is a dietitian and a nutritionist, and she's been working with clients for years and in hospital settings and ICU, and she's seen it all. She is just now starting to do her somatic experiencing course because she's like, these people need to know how to rest and relax before I can give them diets or programs, or their bodies need to go back to this level of being able to digest. And I'm like, yes. And that's across so many different, it's not just yoga, it's not just nutrition, but even I spoke to a business coach and a mindset mentor the other day, and she's like, where I begin is with the nervous system.
Totally.
Because when we can relax the brainwave state, we're more receptive to change and clarity. And it's like, yes, it's so cool to see this across different mediums.
In my breathwork training, this year, I added a massive part of just physical practice. I have to. Yeah. You have to. How can you speak about all different kind of mental health condition that we are suffering nowadays, and it's common, it's everywhere, especially at the moment, without returning to the body? It's called embodiment. I mean, it's another very key word and fashionable word.
Yeah, but just like grounding, embodiment is thrown.
Grounding, embodiment, we need to understand what it is. Well, grounding is in kind of an embodiment. Embodiment is it. So we have to teach people to be with their body first, and then the subtle. The yoga tradition knew that.
Yeah.
You start from asana, you do pranayama, you do pratyahara, you do the meditation, and then
thousands of years ago, this was written out beautifully.
So I think nothing is new, but we need to follow those protocol because it makes sense.
Yeah.
I use a model called the seasonal model, in my practice.
So what model?
Seasonal.
Seasonal.
Seasonal model. And the part of the body, the work of the body is placed within a spring of the practice. Well, I'm not speaking about January, February, March. It's just a metaphor for the different stages that you do when you are stressed, when you are insomnia, when you have this, and all the spring of each of those conditions is physical practice, returning to the body. That it is trauma, stress, anxiety. We have to start with that and see how it works. So all those tools that we are offering to people has to be offered not as pushing down your throat kind of tools, but see what the person needs. But 100% of people needs to start working with the physical body first.
Yeah. Okay, I want to talk about insomnia.
Oh.
I want the whole big picture, because we spoke about a nice little bedtime routine, relaxing, but my understanding is that if we really want to tackle insomnia, it starts from the morning, right? And our circadian rhythm, and like, where do you begin with a client who can't sleep?
Well, number one, this is become a pandemic in our society. It's the number of people come to me and said, do you have any breathing technique for sleeping? And yes, there is those, we speak a lot about 4-7-8 breathing technique out there, but that is only a tool to prevent. It's not the tool. So insomnia is a complicated subject. First of all, you got two kinds of insomnia. You got chronic and acute. Okay, so it's a bit like stress. If you haven't slept properly in 3 months, in a space of 3 months, that means you are going through chronic insomnia. Acute insomnia, it's like, okay, I've got an interview in 2 weeks. I'm very nervous. I don't sleep. Blah blah blah. Or my business is not doing great. I don't sleep. That's going to get better. Okay. Or, I don't know, 2 nights ago, I don't know why, I didn't sleep until 1 o'clock in the morning, and it never happened to me. And that's, okay, Laurent, calm down, it's okay, it happens. What we have to understand is we have to follow the natural rhythm of the body during the day. And you have to speak with your client and your student about how they live their day and how they eat, how they are practicing, what kind of physical practice they do, again, breathing practice, how they rest, what is their screen time, because for million years, the body has been following the same rhythm, which is called the circadian rhythm. And the hormonal changes in the body are following this rhythm. So, briefly explained, because it's kind of complicated, but in the morning, as soon the lights go through your eyelids, this is triggering your cortisol level. Okay? It means that the cortisol level flowed into your body to wake up, bring a little bit more activity in your heart, pump the breath and the oxygen in your body a little bit more, wake you up. Okay? Not the coffee. Yeah. Not yet, but the cortisol is here. Okay, so lights in the eyes.
Yeah, and people hear cortisol and they're like, bad. Actually, no, it's natural. It happens every morning, and we want it to rise.
Of course, absolutely.
So it can fall.
So someone sent to me an email this week and said to me, Laurent, I'm going through this depression, seasonal depression thing. I said, well, you need more cortisol in the morning. My work, I'm very lucky. My apartment is got a balcony facing east. I've got the most beautiful sunrise in London. I'm very lucky. So what I do is I go out or I go on my window, I open this and I look, I'm facing the sun. And this is producing the cortisol. This is the first thing I do. And so I haven't had my tea, I'm not showered yet, I just watch. So to get this action in my body. So cortisol is very important. Now it's bad if you are producing it another time of the day. So we're going to speak about that in a moment. So cortisol is there to keep you moving. There's other hormones as well, but this is the most important one. And then, well, to produce the energy in your body, you're going to start to oxygenate your body. So oxygenation is very important, which is under the shape of doing exercise. So exercising in the morning is very important. And also doing some breathing technique. If you do breath work and pranayama, breathing technique in the morning, which are more energetic. Kapalabhati breathing, holding your breathing, pumping breathing, breath of fire, all the things which are more like, give you that kick. Now you have to look also the diet. So your friend Katrina will certainly know that. There's things that you should be eating a certain time of the day and things you shouldn't. Now, for most people, from what I read, that will depend on people. Coffee intake, no more than 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 2 o'clock big maximum. After that, the coffee dissolve in your body, it takes 4 hours for the coffee to disappear from your blood system. So, eating the right food, the digestion is very important. If you have a heavy belly, you're going to feel very tired, etc., etc. So, this is the morning, and then you're going to have lunch, and then you're going to start to have that dip where you feel very tired. But that's normal. So you generally, it's perhaps the moment, if you can, and it's not always possible because you are in an office, it's the time you perhaps do some more breathing practice, some more exercise, and you will be doing Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is brilliant, 4 p.m. in the afternoon, because at that time you're already starting the process of going to bed. So your hormones change. Cortisol is stopping at this point, and then you're starting creating a buildup of hormones called, for example, melatonin. Yeah. So the melatonin is the sleeping hormone, and you're starting creating this in your body. But what do we do? And I'm speaking about us being a Londoner, okay? We're going to go out after work. Fine, we're going to socialize. Brilliant. But we might have 2 bottles of wine. Not so brilliant. But it's okay. I mean, obviously, I can't do it anymore, but to drink alcohol, which I don't drink alcohol so much anymore, but drinking alcohol after a certain time, that stops the production of certain hormones, which makes you fall asleep. And then going to sleep, okay, you might fall asleep not because of the melatonin, but because about the intake of alcohol in your blood. Yeah. And then you're going to wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning because your body is burning and boiling, So I'm not saying stop drinking alcohol, have your champagne and have fun. You shouldn't do that, of course. But evening time, it's the time where you're doing practice which is more gentle, restorative yoga, soft breathing, relaxations, meditation, creative. Screen time is not great. Yeah. And so switching off the lights, slowing down the lights in your house, not eating very late. My husband is from Spain, it's very hard for me. I mean, when I go to Spain, when we eat until 10 o'clock, digestion doesn't work. So you have to follow this curve where cortisol go up in the morning, lunch. So you're putting all the energy practice at the beginning to keep going towards the day. And then you are thinking slowing down towards the evening, prepare yourself to go into bed, basically. Doing practice which are slower and eating around about 6-7 p.m. I think this is a time for leaving your body to digest, which takes 2 to 3 hours now. So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock, make the calculation. Yeah. So that's the curve. That's the most simple way. The issue we have is to trying to change someone's habits. And there are some sleep therapists that you could find. I'm not one of them. I just offer the technique that you could offer during this period of time. Yeah. But there is some sleep therapists which help you to maybe journal your activities, and coaches which help you to change the habits in certain time of the day for you to prepare for. So insomnia shape itself either at the beginning of the night, you can't fall asleep. There's another insomnia which happens during the night where you wake up and you can't fall asleep anymore, or you do it 2 hours after. This is horrible.
Yeah.
But we don't know that. People who sleep, wake up too early in the morning, that also is an insomnia. And this is usually happen to people getting older. So getting older create insomnia and sleep disorder as well. And of course, illnesses, medications, and that kind of stuff as well. So insomnia, it's something that you need to think about. What should I do at the start of the day? What brings me more energy? What shall I do at the end of the day to deplete my energy a little bit and to turn into something a little softer, more gentle?
Yeah. And like you said, it's complicated and nuanced and very different from person to person. So something I've found really, really helpful is in that 4 p.m., 3 p.m. dip, is sometimes I just lie on the ground with no exercise. I'm not breathing, I'm not meditating. I am just lying down doing nothing. I'm resting.
Brilliant.
For 10 minutes.
Yep.
And then I'm like, I feel refreshed. And it's just given me that like time to drop, rest, and then I can go. And it helps me so much. And taking the pressure off of like, I don't need to be doing anything right now.
Yeah. What's it called? This 20-minute sleep. I forgot the name now.
A little power nap.
Power nap. Power nap as the one
I love a power nap.
But power nap at this time of the afternoon, 4 p.m., give a taste of what you're supposed to be doing in the middle of the night. Now, I'm not going to go into the different realm of the day because we need another hour together, but this is giving a taste. So it's already a power nap at 4 p.m., 20 minutes, no more than that, because after that, you've gone into something different. That 20-minute sleep in the middle of the afternoon is give you a taste, and your nervous system is understanding that. I said, this is the time to slow down. And it gives you more energy. It doesn't mean you need to go disco dancing even more after that, but maybe. When I was in the army, because I am that generation of national service, we used to be taught to do power nap on 4 p.m. Like
you were in the army?
I was in the army. I was in the Navy.
I learned something new. You were a DJ, a baker. You were in the army.
But I had to do my national service. So in the Navy, you had to do power nap because your hours are different. You work differently. So I learned how to do that, and they're very rejuvenating. They're amazing.
I love a power nap.
Yep.
Well, listen, this was so wonderful. I thought maybe we could leave our listeners with a really quick little practice to explore some of these concepts and like embody them, right?
Okay. So what we could do is we could do something about the process of the relaxation, just revisiting it a little bit so we can embody in it a little bit. So if you are on a chair or if you are lying on the floor, I'm going to speak like if we're on a chair, because we are on a chair. So first, 2 feet flat on the ground, and then 2 hands on the lap. So we are looking at the physical body to start with, okay? And you could have eyes closed, you could have eyes open. And what I always start doing, that could be that you prepare yourself for speaking to someone, or you are going to give a lecture to a group of people. But what I'm doing is I'm rocking my torso a little bit forward, and I'm rocking my torso a little bit backwards. And why am I doing this is that I could sense the weight of my body transferring itself beneath my thighs and beneath my sitting bones, just to feel the sensation of the surface, which is below me. And what the nervous system catch here, it catch the signal coming from the chair saying, the body is safe, the body is supported, And then I rest my back onto the chair. Now, the other thing I could do is with my feet. If I lift my heels a little bit away from the floor, and I let them meet the ground again. And I lift my heels a little bit up away from the floor, and I bring them back onto the floor. So again, the message to my nervous system is you meeting the ground with the heels, and you're feeling yourself kind of dropping on the mat, and you are feeling, there's the floor below. This is very safe. I can rest. I could slow down the body a little bit. And then you stop this. And then the other thing you could do is with your hands on your thighs is to touch the top of your thighs. You could send your hands towards your knees, and you could send your hands towards your thighs, up to the thighs and down towards your knees. And again here, this message that we're sending to the brain and to the nervous system is, I am with the body. I am not in my head. I am not thinking about future. I'm not thinking about fears. I am very much with the solidity and the physical experience of the body. And then I stop. Lovely. And then I bring my awareness. The next stage is perhaps to look at the breathing. And the breathing needs to be looked into a place where you are not interfering with it, a place where you are simply observing it. For the moment, you are meeting the breath anywhere on the body. It could be somewhere in the belly, it could be feel it in the chest, you could feel it at the nose, it doesn't matter. Whatever your breath is. So each of you will have a different experience. Some of us will be short breath, some of you will be long breath, but you all will have an inhalation and an exhalation. And what I am interested with here, what you are interested with here, is the exhalation. Because the exhalation is the guide to softening your body even more. It's the guide to release the tension away from the body. You inhale, and when you exhale, you visualize your breath descending towards your seat on the chair, towards your feet, towards your hands. And on the way, the exhalation remove any unnecessary activity. You take always the same amount of inhalation, and you elongate ever so slightly your exhalation, dropping the shoulders, dropping the hand, dropping the weight of your body on the chair or through your feet. And you could perhaps observe the sensation that you don't need to be active. You start sensing a slight change in the middle of your chest. Anything was heavy might slowly disappear. Maybe you sense the tension moving away from your shoulders, from your jaw, from your forehead. Suddenly you realize you were holding a thigh or a glute and you don't know why. So suddenly with the next exhalation, all this is dissolving. The amount of inhalation is always the same. The length of the exhalation ever so slightly become longer every time, inviting a little bit more letting go. Dissolve, release, melt, yield onto the chair. So within the relaxation process, there's 3 steps. You looked after the body, you observe your breath becoming lighter, smoother, and the exhalation becoming longer. And then perhaps your mind, in the middle of all that, stop analyzing, stop calculating, stop interfering. The thought's still here, but it's just doing what it needs to do. It's a little bit into the background. And the progress here comes from a stage which was about resting, stopping activity, to a sense of relaxing. A place where everything is coherent, your body is quiet, your breath is subtle, and your mind is slightly silent or more silent than usual. And this is the true nature of our being. This is what we're supposed to be meeting, to be able to heal, to recover, to become more creative, to be more in tune with others. Is the state of being. How do you feel?
I forgot I was on
You were gone, aren't you?
Yeah.
I could see it.
Really nice.
I could see it. So if we base ourselves on those three elements, this is my simple, if you have to take something from that chat, look after your body, do what you need to do with the body, whatever it is, even walking, swimming, rolling on the floor, dancing, and then look after your breathing as the tool to negotiate with your nervous system. Then the brain will follow. You don't have to do very much with the mind. Okay, some time with meditation, we need to do something, we need to concentrate, we need to pour. But if you start looking after those two things at the beginning, the third thing, the head, which is the more agitated part of ourselves, just will be following normally.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
So for our listeners, I want to know where we can find you. And also, there's a couple opportunities for those who are based in London to practice with you in person and some workshops here at the space even.
I think we collaborated with, which I'm really excited about, once a month on a Friday night here. We decided to do a collaboration about the REST series, which is about going deeper into those stages of the relaxation, or rest and relaxation. So we already done the ground, we're going to do the tension, and then there's going to be 3 or 4 after this until Christmas. It's Friday night. Look on the website of the space. I'm also going to do here at the space again on 1-day retreat, which is going to be a restorative yoga complete day. So a lot of props, a lot of the bricks, a lot of blankets, just to learn the rest process to go towards relaxation. So this is happening the 25th or 4th of a Saturday at the end of October. So this is where you can find me here, and then yes, that's it. Or you can find me, check what I'm doing on my website on yogalaurent.com.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We will end this episode the way that we always do, with just a full breath in and a full breath out. And have a lovely day.
Thank you. I'm going for rest now. Thank you, Lilly.